I've been playing Destiny since January 24th, 2015. I've spent thousands of hours with Destiny, and during my time, the franchise has been through its many ups and downs. Every player knows about the phrase, "it's so over," and how we hear it every so often, just to be wowed by something and feel like we're so back with the cycle repeating. Recently, Destiny's been entering its most dire time with player counts at an all time low and continuing to drop. On top of that, Bungie's been leading the players on with the hopes of a roadmap, just to announce that the next update for Destiny will be delayed by 3 months, which is the last thing the game needs, especially in this state. This whole situation and the sentiment around the game have led people to wonder, what's in the future for Destiny and Bungie, and if it'll even be enough. Before, with the final shape, we had an end goal to look forward to. We had the witness to fight, and for many, the final shape was the end of the Light and Darkness saga and simply the end of Destiny. With the new Fate saga, although we have a good story, and I'm interested to see where it goes, we simply have no idea where we're headed from here. We have no final boss and no idea where any of this is headed. The DLC just being named the final shape was enough for many people to believe that this was the end of the game, whether they were fed up or not, they left. I remember speaking to one of my friends before the launch of Edge of Fate, and they've been playing since Destiny 1, and even they didn't know that they were releasing another DLC with the new raid and more. So many players had taken the final shape to be the final chapter in Destiny, or at least Destiny 2's life cycle, and them choosing to continue with more content left the game in an awkward spot. Edge of Fate came with plenty of changes, some good but plenty bad, and those that still affect the game to this day. The portal changes, light leveling, loot drops, lack of reason to grind, PvP being neglected, and the number of bugs increasing every update all negatively affect the game to this day, and are in large part another reason why so many of the players who stuck around did finally decide to leave. Even with the planned update in June that'll bring weapon tiering, tiered gear, and raids and dungeons, Pantheon 2.0, tier 5 stats for exotics and more, all things people have been wanting for a while now, is any of that actually enough to keep players around and, more importantly, bring in new players? No, I don't think any of that is enough for new and even returning players. With the future of Destiny and even Bungie being held in question, it's led a lot of people to wonder what happens now or where do we go from here. And there's always been one thing that comes up whether or not you agree with the idea: Destiny 3. I've never been one to cope and think we needed a Destiny 3, but that was back then, when the game was in a better state and the question what can you do with Destiny 3 that you can't do with Destiny 2 actually somewhat made sense. At where the game is now though, it leads many people to believe we need a Destiny 3, and even I've come around to thinking that's the only way forward for the franchise. It's become increasingly impossible to introduce people to Destiny and have them stick around when even people who have played since early Destiny 1 no longer play and have no desire to come back knowing the history of the game. The name Destiny 2 has so many negative connotations attached to it that there's a chance you mention Destiny 2 to someone who's never played, and even they know about the game being dead or them taking away content that people paid for. No matter what the devs do with the game now, it'll continue to have those things attached to it and get worse as time goes on. So what can be done now? Destiny 3 allows the devs to start fresh and create something with no negative connotations attached to it. Sure, the studio themselves have things attached to them, but if players heard Bungie were giving it one last shot with a Destiny 3, where there'd be no content sunsetting, an engine that was built to last, the long live service development cycle they wanted for the game, MMO aspects to fulfill that FPS MMO title, and more things the community have wanted for a decade now, I do think there would be more people open to trying it than there are people wanting to return to Destiny 2, especially with the direction the game has been headed in the past year. Destiny 3 would give what I don't think you can give to Destiny 2 right now: a future. Many players would take Destiny 2 in hibernation mode knowing the devs are working on a Destiny 3. Even players who have already quit the game would return or be excited if they heard a Destiny 3 was in the works. While we've had it leaked that the game is being worked on, until it's officially announced, that's just a leak and no credible information backing it. Destiny 2 is as good as dead right now, even with the update in a couple of months or the next 2 expansions that we know of. It won't be enough to sustain the game with new or old players. Is this more of the same old Destiny, and how long do we continue this cycle for? Expansions being times where players return to check out what's going on with the game stop with Edge of Fate having a peak of 100k, and Renegades having half that around 50k or so. Something big needs to change and not just another expansion, not just more Destiny. There is one more elephant in the room I've tried not to mention yet, and it's a very complicated bag of worms, and that's Marathon. Bungie has been working on Marathon in the background for over 4 years, with its development hindering the progress of Destiny and how far the game can go with its resources being spread so thin. Bungie has said that Marathon's development won't impact Destiny's development, and even with that happening now with the Destiny update being delayed by 3 months, I think Marathon has done something else that I don't see many people mention, and that's taking away reputable devs from Destiny's development and putting them on Marathon. Taking away firepower the game could use in a time like this, but they're currently busy making sure Marathon lands when its launch happens. Don't get me wrong, it's important for Marathon to do well, especially when so much has been invested, but all of Bungie will go down if its main cash cow is out of commission. Although I'm excited for Marathon, it's easy to see that the studio trying to juggle so many incubation projects at once was what really damaged Destiny in the long run. From Gummy Bears to Marathon to Project Payback and more, the devs were spread far too thin and wasted too much money, which took time and resources away from Destiny, which led to how the game is now. There's players who want to boycott Marathon in hopes Bungie will wake up and realize the grave mistake they've made, and then announce a D3, but that won't happen. If Marathon doesn't land on its feet and the game flops, then that's it. There won't be a D3, but there also won't be a Marathon, and there certainly won't be a Destiny 2 either. I do think if Marathon doesn't perform how they expect, then that's it for Bungie, whether they close the studio or Sony takes over and does with Bungie as they please. I think it's better for everyone if Marathon does succeed, but many don't see that and would rather have Marathon fail just to get back at Bungie for abandoning Destiny 2 in the first place. It's also tricky to tell if Marathon does do well if they'll abandon Destiny and just focus on Marathon, but I don't think that's the case. Once players realize Bungie is fully abandoning the Destiny franchise in favor of Marathon, I'm sure they'll make themselves heard with player counts dropping and player outrage on social media. I don't think Marathon has the staying power a looter shooter has, especially with Arc Raiders being Marathon's main obstacle. Dare I say, Destiny really has no competition even now. Bungie has dominated the looter shooter market since Destiny's inception, and while many games have tried to take the crown, none have succeeded. Funnily enough, the only thing that has ever been able to take down Destiny has been Destiny. In that same sense, I think the only thing that can save Destiny 2 is Destiny 3. Without a future for the game, you'll watch as it bleeds the last remaining players, and Destiny goes down as one of the greatest genre-defining games of our generation.